name's Carrie-Lynn, and this is how I met Jesus. So as a young girl, so say about between the ages of 4 and 7, I knew Jesus. I was in love with him. I was raised in a Christian home. It was unfortunately more religious, but I loved the Bible. I loved to talk to Jesus. I knew who he was. But the church I went to was based on rules and regulations. And it was hard for me to understand the Jesus that I knew, but the people around me that were so religious and so hypocritical. It was a decisive time in my life, and there was a lot of pulling back and forth. And as I got older, I think there was some rebellion that set in. The Jesus that I knew was different than the Jesus that was represented at church, and I became very hardened. And because of that, there was some rebellion that came in, and as a teenager, I searched out things in life. I guess I just wanted some peace. I wanted an identity. I wanted to be known. And that hole was deep for me. Many things happened in my life, lots of circumstances, lots of bad choices and consequences to them. But I was searching. There was lots of things I chose. As I got into teenage years, I was drinking and doing drugs and having sex, and all the more feeling more empty and alone. One of the pivotal moments for me when I was 15 or 16 was I was in an apartment, and I had just smoked crack and hash for 5 hours and walked out with no high. Now I knew God was real, but I had walked away, and at that moment I knew he saved my life. Now I'd like to say that things changed and I gave myself over to Christ, but I didn't. That would be 6 to 7 years later. I continued to search. I continued to, just all the things that I was looking for to give me peace. I hated silence. I hated being alone. Now there was a lot of bad things that happened, consequences to the actions that I took. A lot of broken relationships, a lot of hurt. If I look back, sin lied to me. It told me it would be fun, it would fill me, it would be okay. But it just took me down a road of death. Every day I would wake up and just feel more alone, more empty, but still searching. Now we'll fast forward 6 to 7 years later, and the most unlikely thing happened was my father-in-law. Now we didn't really have a good relationship, but one day he asked me to go to church. And I can't say there was some big pivotal moment, but I went. Maybe because it was my father-in-law and he asked me to go and I felt obliged, but that was a pivotal moment in my life. I went to church, and it's the question, some preachers will say, close your eyes, and if you know where you're going and you don't want to go there, raise your hand. My hand went up and I just started to cry because I knew that I was just living wrong. I remembered back to when I was a little girl and how in love I was with Jesus. And at that moment I felt his unconditional love. I felt all of him come into me. Didn't matter what I had done. It didn't matter where I had been. He just loves me. And so I walked down the aisle, and this little old lady led me through the sinner's prayer, and I went home a different person. Now, life hasn't been easy, but I'll tell you one thing, I have peace. I can sit in the silence. I have that peace now that I was looking for, the things that I was searching for, the things that sin lied to me about, that took me down a dark road. And yeah, I have a long way to go, but he is faithful. And I'm loved no matter what. And I hope for you today, as you're seeing this, and the other testimonies that are coming out, that you have an Abba Father who is madly in love with you. You don't have to clean your act up. Just come and just say, I need you. I want peace. I don't want to feel empty and alone. I want you.